Welcome to All About the Bass. I'm Lee.
I'm Cece.
This is John from Origin Effects. John is with us today to show us some new lovely bits and some lovely toys in the room today. As this little beast will show you what we're hinting towards today. So, yes, John, what have you got for us today?
Well, you guys have already seen these two, the BassRIG Super Vintage and the BassRIG 64 Black Panel. They've been out for a few years and they are all analog amp and cab recreations of a couple of real classic bass amps. So this one does the whole Ampeg SVT and 810 sound. This is mid-60s Fender stuff. And now we have the BassRIG 15, which is the same thing, but recreating the Ampeg B-15,
this beast,
which people have been asking us for a while, because it's kind of the one we didn't do, and people wanted to know why. So here it is. It's a real classic sound. It's a low-powered all-valve combo, slightly kind of quirky ported 1x15 cab, and it's got this tight, punchy, warm sound that's given it a reputation as the kind of ultimate studio bass amp. It's known for its kind of 60s soul tones, but it's been used on everything and by everyone. And
of course.
Now we have it in a pedal.
Brilliant stuff, man, brilliant stuff. And actually, you saying that, we just have a little nose about what we were doing today as well. You just pull up a few of the online forums, and it's exactly that. It's like, is there a B-15 coming? Is there a B-15? And it's from a couple of years ago, and almost like urging you guys to get involved with doing this. So it seems to be like it's come from the players, it seems to be. But I don't know if you did have it in mind as well.
Well,
but
it's sort of a bit of both. I mean, it takes us a long time to develop things because we go to quite extraordinary lengths to capture all of the details about the amp, and because it's all done in analog circuitry, every tweak is a real physical tweak resulting from a real measurement of real gear and all that stuff. So we've been working on this for some time, but we've also been getting hassled about it by forum users for a long time too. There was a whole post that basically said everybody on this forum should email Origin Effects and hassle them to make a B-15. So we've been bombarded by emails for a long time and kind of had to go, yeah, that's something we'd love to do. All the while we're kind of making this in the background. Please let us make the pedal.
Let's get on with it. Let's go.
But yeah, here it is.
Amazing, man. Oh no, great. No, and yeah, we've got a few AB switches set up in the room, so you guys will be able to hear us jumping between the actual B-15. And I think, was this the one that you used to actually recreate the pedal from this actual B-15?
Yeah, so this is a genuine vintage mid-60s Ampeg B-15, and we're kind of comparing the whole system that we measured to develop the whole pedal. So we've got the real amp mic'd up with the same mic that we used when taking the cab measurements in hopefully exactly the same placement. I mean, it was a while ago that we did it, but we've kind of got it as close as we can. And having had a quick listen in the control room, we think it sounds really close. And
great.
We're comparing that whole setup to the whole signal flow through the pedal and out through the cabinet simulated DI output.
Amazing.
One thing that I should mention is, just so we can get the level kind of under control in the room, we've got the amp on our own custom attenuator that we built.
Okay,
and
lovely.
That's partly for kind of doing controlled tests.
Yeah.
But it's also so we can measure exactly how the amp behaves by building our own reactive load that creates an exact replica of the curve that the speaker creates.
Amazing.
So we then learn how to make the reactive load that's inside the pedal, because this thing contains analog simulated version of the preamp, the phase inverter, the power amp, the reactive load that simulates the interaction between the amp and speaker. So that's why it's got the feel as well.
Great.
So, but what that means is today we can crank the amp up and hear all the drive sounds without tearing the paint off the walls as well.
I like that. Let's get into it. Where would you like to start? Do you want to start with introducing the amp, or just a nice setting that you want to start us off with? I think, Cece, do you want to do the honours?
I don't mind what we're starting with.
Well, should we start on the amp?
Cool.
I kind of, while we were setting up, just dialed in a little tone that should match, and we'll switch between the two, and hopefully they'll sound really close.
Nice. I'll just try a few different styles because I'm really curious to hear like how it reacts to certain things. So. That's quite nice. Nice.
Oof.
So they both sound great. But
thank you. Yeah,
that's
that's
a rumble. Like that undercurrent of rumble.
I know, I'm quite impressed. Like, even in the room, I know it's not going to sound exactly as it does. People can hear it through the DI. But even in the room, it's got a nice kind of, it reacts really well to whether you're playing soft or hard. It's got nice dynamics to it.
Well, I'm glad you think so, because that's where we have put the real effort into the design to try and get the sound, but also the response and the playing feel and the kind of bounce that you get from a real valve amp. So the fact that you're hearing that back through the monitors that we've got in here is really encouraging.
Yeah, like you can feel it when you play, which I think is always a nice thing, because it makes you want to play and it kind of changes the way you play. So
there's lots of great kind of amp in a box, amp simulator things out there, but that was the one thing we thought was kind of maybe missing from what's on the market, just that level of realism. And I think especially these days when a lot of people are doing gigs where you have to DI or you're recording at home, a lot of people think the only alternative to a real amp is a modeler.
Yeah.
And then kind of get put off by the menu diving or the, some people say that digital stuff doesn't kind of feel quite right. We wanted to have that missing link in between of like, you can do all of the modern practical things with it, but it still has the same experience of playing through the real amp.
Yeah. Sounds great, even with the harmonics. I've got loads of bass fans now screaming at me, going, "I'm doing it wrong!" Never played Jacko
Leave
on
her
a video.
alone, you monsters.
I was just intrigued to know kind of how it reacts to that, and I also want to know how it reacts to slap bass too.
Go on,
go for it.
on.
If everyone doesn't mind me annoying them with the Jacko to slap bass pipeline,
It's the two crucial tests, right?
it really is.
Yeah. Like it.
Sounds great.
Can we just do that quickly through the
Sure.
the B-15? Yeah. Okay. Wicked.
Lee, you have a go.
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it.
So we're this is B for the actual B-15.
This is real amp.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, man. Yeah, that percussiveness, that's where that response, exactly like you were saying. I think I can get a little bit blinded by when we see loads of pedals and doing things, and it really is that I find it's like sounds good, just this layer. It's a layer on top of the bass sound. This feels like it's exactly doing that. It's got that realistic response, but it's almost like just letting the bass tone come through and really honing in on that, and you know the little intricate like of little tones you get from the bass instead of mudding it too much with an effect.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
doing a thing. That feels like it's like right, get out of the way. Let the player and the bass do the thing.
Yeah.
You know that response is wicked. So we've got 2 little monitors in the room compared to that, and yeah. Oh, I like that.
I think part of that response as well is the cab. I mean, without kind of getting too scientific about it.
Oh no.
It's an old design of a ported cab. The cab is kind of too small for the speaker, but what that means is that the low end response is kind of quite full, quite far down, and then suddenly drops off in a slightly odd way.
Okay.
Which we've captured in the analog cab sim in the pedal as well.
Nice.
And what that means is the amp kind of takes care of the sort of sub stuff for you and just sort of lops it off, which I think is what gives it that kind of mix ready sound that makes it such a popular studio choice as well, because some of the things that can get a bit messy in a mix are just not there.
Yes,
it's warm on top, it's tight at the bottom but still punchy and deep enough, and then if you want to affect the character of it, you just plug a different bass in.
Of course,
and play differently, and it lets the musician kind of just get on with it.
That was that first reaction I had. It's just like, oh, this is nice, this is lovely, and it's not, you know, sort of, it's like getting in the way is probably the wrong way to explain it, but it really is that sometimes I feel like, okay, that's a nice fuzz, or that's a nice little sort of or replication of a sound, but it's sort of taken this part of the feel out for me, or this pickup doesn't sound as great with this particular sound. That I can feel is like, no, we're not in your way. We're just going to enhance, you know, like, as we go. So
makes you want to just get on and play instead of finding more stuff to fiddle with. And like it's got, there's, you know, this is the sound that people know, that kind of 60s soul thing. But there's more to it than that. It's got some good rocky tones when you crank the gain up. But they all just are kind of right. Yes. Even the nasty ones are just kind of
that's still usable.
A right version of a nasty sound.
Cool.
So I don't know if we should just kind of
go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, mate. Yes.
I guess before I crank the drive up, I should point out that because this is a replica of a vintage non-master volume amp, the main tone shaping is before the drive, because the drive in the amp comes from the power amp, which is the last bit of the amp. You can't have anything after that. So the tone controls actually affect the character of the drive. Turning the treble up will make it brighter, but it'll also make the drive more cutting. If you turn the bass up, the drive gets more squishy, as well as just having more bass in the sound. And so turning the bass down can really tighten things up. There's a kind of interaction, which I guess maybe if you've only ever used modern bass gear, might be a little bit of a learning curve.
Okay, yeah.
But certainly if you're familiar with vintage amps, and I think people watching this probably already know about the B-15. Like,
sweet, yeah.
It does all of that stuff. It's not like a drive circuit with an EQ slapped on the end of it. The whole thing's one interactive system, and that's where some of that playing feel comes from as well. So
who's going first?
It must be CC. It must be CC.
Great sounding.
And like the other BassRIG pedals, it's also got a blend. So if the driven sounds are a bit too out of control or a bit too squishy, you can always add some clean signal back in to tidy things up a little. So if you play some more
need to hear like.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
Love it.
Does
Love
that?
it. And I can really hear what you're saying there as well. Even just you just moving in between those, like how
Yeah.
everything's just those little tweaks in the sound.
Yeah.
It's so much scope. You think like, okay, you're trying to find a certain frequency to cut through a band or something, or a certain room you're playing with. Even the practical things, it sounds like that can help adjust. You
Definitely.
being heard and things. So it's
Yeah, and it's
love
all,
it.
even with those more modern bass with bright round wound strings and a bit of blend added, it's still got that character about it.
Yeah, it really does.
Got
Yeah,
some sort of mojo, for want of a better word.
and
I guess.
manner,
Yeah.
no, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Again, it feels great to play through as well, which is always a good sign. So it didn't feel like it lost any kind of bassiness or any weight to it, which was nice. I have had it before, even on stuff like this, where you'll turn it on and then as soon as you turn the drive up, for some reason, it just loses everything else, which doesn't seem like it should happen, but happens more than you would
Then
think.
you'd be aware. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there's lots of different ways to design something that overdrives. And
Yeah.
just vintage amps just do it in a cool way. And
Yeah, they do.
we want people to have that without having to find one of these things, look after it,
Yeah.
carry it to the gig. All the stuff that we all trying to get away from these days.
Mate, of course, and even the size of it, is pretty diddy compared to some amps you can get for. But yeah, still, even just trying to make sure that other people, oh no, yeah, I can't kit share on this gig. I've brought my actual B-15 with me. Sorry, it's like no, absolutely. This is a modern solution, getting those proper classic tones as well. And say, like, I've only experienced once, like, in a studio, and it was very, very quick. Oh, this is nice. Love it. Right, yeah. Okay, you're done. Can you move on, please? And it's, oh, I want to go. Oh, can I? But they're so rare. They are, and as John was saying, a little bit more impractical for modern playing, really, modern use. But if you love the sound, this sounds like a great solution. Feels like a great
Definitely.
solution.
I guess while we're talking about practical things, I should probably mention a bit about the amp out EQ. So
Okay.
far we've only heard the DI out, which is, what you send to your front of house engineer or your recording interface.
Sweet.
But there's also a 1/4 inch out that goes to your amp that's on stage. So
Okay.
you can have your own monitoring that's independent of the front of house mix. The amp out doesn't have a cab sim on it because you've already got a cab on stage.
Got ya.
And
Yep.
cab sims through cabs, they always sound a bit weird. They're kind of adding too much flavour to it. Your average modern cab, especially something nice and full range and hi-fi, it doesn't sound like this kind of cool old thing. So what the amp out EQ allows you to do is impart some of that character onto your cab. So
Wow, okay.
the main two switches are these low cut and high cut. The high cut, the main idea with that is if your cab has a tweeter and either you can't turn it off or you don't want to turn it off because of what you like for your clean sound, you can flick this switch on and it applies a steep roll-off in the high end that doesn't let any of the high frequencies get through to the tweeter that wouldn't be coming out of this vintage cab.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's similar to the horn cut switch that's on these two, but what we've added for the BassRIG 15 is a low cut as well.
Okay.
Both these BassRIGs simulate big cabs.
Yeah.
So they sound a bit more like modern cabs in the low end. This is very tight in the low end, so you can also cut low
The
end.
lows as well.
But it's not just a simple filter, it cuts low end in exactly the way that low end is cut in the B-15.
Wow.
So if you have a big boomy cab, you can flick that on and it kind of tightens everything up and gives it some B-15 character. And that switches on and off with the pedal, so you can do all of the modern, clean, Marcus Miller hi-fi slap sound, and then when you get to the James Brown numbers, you turn this thing on and all of the frequency response is kind of adjusted to match
really
what
cool.
the amp part of the pedal's doing. And then you
Yeah.
have a high frequency and low frequency trimmer to
just
fine
to
tune around
tweak
the
it.
edges. And especially if you've kind of dialed in the main sound, you've agreed that with your sound engineer, you leave that how it is, but you're hopping through different gigs with different backline amps and nothing's ever the same. You just mess with this stuff and even out the differences, and you never have to mess with what's going to front of house. And I guess the other thing I should probably say is the DI cab sim. You can set that so the cab sim is either always on,
Okay.
so even when you bypass the pedal, you can use it as a cab sim for other devices.
Oh, cool.
You can have the cab sim switch on and off as you turn the pedal on and off, so it goes from being a complete simulation of a B-15 to a completely flat studio style DI. Again, very good if you've got that kind of hi-fi sound and the vintage sound in the same set.
Cool.
And then what we've added on this by popular demand is you can also just turn it off all the time, so that's really handy if you're recording at home and you want to use IRs afterwards and you're perhaps not sure exactly
Yeah,
what
where
you
you wanna
use.
go
It
with the
gives you that
sounds.
flexibility to mess with it afterwards. And
Wicked.
That can kind of sound cool with the cleaner sounds as well. Wouldn't recommend it too much with the drive stuff because it can get pretty nasty in the high end. But it's there, so you can play with it if you want.
Oh man, you thought of everything.
I really am genuinely impressed with it. So.
Yeah, no, wicked. Any more playing? Should we do a little bit more playing?
It's rude not to, isn't
yeah,
it?
is there anything like, just like push the thing? It's either mad or really, really subtle setting.
Let's have do your worst first.
Do
shall
your
we?
worst. I like it. Okay, right, sweet. Oh, cheers, man. Do my worst. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, I like it.
Should we have sensible?
Go on then. Go on, let's have sense. Oh, yeah. Oh, that low end, man. Still rumbles through, it's nice. It is all about the feel. That is so amazing. That is so amazing. I don't think I've ever, and I do apologise, I say it's been a little while since we looked at the others, so the SVT and the Fender Style, so I say, because that was probably a couple of years ago, but I think I probably had the same sort of reaction with these, where it's just like, something's really good and different. What is this? Like, and it purely is that. It's that response is blowing me away. Just how natural it feels coming through these tiny little speakers. It really does react like this.
Well, thank you.
Which is amazing.
Glad you like it. Something else I should probably point out, and this is nothing to do with feel and all to do with building fancy pedal boards.
Okay, cool.
Now this is out, we're also doing our Cali 76 bass compressor in the matching finish as well.
Ooh.
So
like
you know what people are like with
stylish.
pedal boards.
Yes.
I'm just as bad. So now you can get the Cali 76 in the 15 blue as well.
Wicked.
But also, look how good they look next to each other.
I know, that's like history in three pedals, some like important history. Yeah, they do look wicked. And yeah, it might not be the thing that you're looking at this going, yeah, I want each one, but there's probably people out there that do as well. So they do exactly what they're trying to do brilliantly, So if you are looking for vintage amps, but you can't find them, you can't afford them, definitely, I think that's another angle, just to dip your toe in, as it were, and come and try them and see what you think, see what the response is.
Links below!
Oh, of course, yes! Oh, no, thank you for joining us. No, I could do this all day. I want to get the other ones in the room now. Can you more? But
you can carry the SVT up.
Oh man! Oh, we've done that. Oh no, yeah, we've done that.
I've had to do that. Yeah.
Sorry, Oz. Yeah, we had to do that before. That did nearly rumble this place to the foundations. But yes, no, thank you for joining us. Hopefully it's been informative. Obviously, yeah, links all below. Stick around. There'll be some more bass bits popping up in the corner. The things. We've gone past 1 million subscribers, but I'm sure there'll be more giveaways coming up. So get involved. Subscribe as well if you haven't done that. But thank you, John. Thank you so much. And thank you to Origin Effects. Thank you for your time, for bringing it into that. It's been so fun, and for bringing all this gear.
Yeah, it has.
So,
Well, thanks very much for having me.
Hey,
It's been great.
Pleasure. We'll see you very shortly. Ta-ta.